Hi friends, I'm here today to talk about why you should go eat that banana pudding and why I really freaking hate diet culture stuff, okay? So I feel like there's this whole thing in today's culture, at least here in America, where people are labeling foods as good or bad or so on. I have been guilty of this in the past, okay? So I'm not excluding myself from this, but I'm trying to learn from my past and move forward in a healthier, more sustainable way. And I believe that should be the goal for everyone, is to create sustainable health practices and things that can truly support the body from a cellular foundation, from a physiological foundation for the long run, for good energy, good vitality, all of that. So I want to talk about diet culture a little bit today because I was craving banana pudding earlier this week. And so I was like, great, I'm going to make banana pudding. Now there's three different routes, at least three different routes I thought of that I could have gone in this instant. I could have bought pre-made banana pudding from somewhere, from a shop or from the grocery store. I could have bought some packaged ingredients and kind of assemble it on my own. So packaged pudding mix, some vanilla wafers, and then whatever else I needed. Or I could make all of those things from scratch, make the vanilla wafers myself, make the vanilla pudding from scratch with local ingredients, all of these things. So if we think of banana pudding, this is something that I think a lot of people would say is like a junk food or is like a bad food. Now, I refuse to accept that. One, because I love banana pudding, and two, I don't believe that life should be lived without enjoying the things you really love. So in my mind, I don't like labeling it bad or junk food or whatever. In my mind, I'm like, okay, how can I make this in a way that is nutrient dense, has a ton of minerals, and is going to support my metabolism from a foundational level? Well, how do I make it? I make it from scratch, and I make sure I know where my ingredients are sourced from. I prepare those ingredients correctly, and then it's more easily digestible by my body. I actually am able to use those nutrients from the food, from the banana pudding, go figure, and be able to have great energy for my day. So there's one thing I probably would have done different with my banana pudding. I made vanilla wafers. I did not make them via sourdough method. In the future, I would probably do that. So they would go through a little fermentation process, so they'd already be partially broken down and more easily digestible for the body. But when I think about the vanilla pudding, what was in the vanilla pudding? Pasture-raised eggs, raw cane sugar, vanilla bean specks, raw milk, really great nutrient-dense ingredients. So yes, I guess I'm kind of here telling you that banana pudding can be nutrient dense and actually be good for you. I'm probably one of the very few health practitioners you'll hear say this, but I'm committed to changing the way that culture and society views these things. Like, I'm sick and tired of hearing people come to me saying, oh, so-and-so told me this was bad for me. So-and-so told me this was bad for me. So-and-so told me I need to be eating this many more raw vegetables. Well, you know what about raw vegetables? Our bodies aren't necessarily designed to digest a ton of raw vegetables. I think we can digest small amounts of things relatively well, but when we eat an entire green salad that's raw lettuce, that does not match our physiology and how our bodies are designed to really break down that roughage. When we think of animals that eat roughage, they have multiple stomachs and multiple digestive processes that this roughage goes through in order to be digested. And so these things just need to be taken into consideration and put into context, I believe. I want to share two books that dive into this whole aspect of how we source our food and how we prepare our food and how that contributes to overall health and vitality. So the first book is Eat Like a Human. This is a great book. I was hooked within the first couple of pages, and I just love how Dr. Bill Schindler, he travels around the world and looks at different tribes and tries to understand how other cultures do things, how they source their food, what they're eating for really great nutrition. He also talks a lot about how ancient ways of cooking can revolutionize your health. So this goes a lot into the process of like, okay, so if we want to eat greens or we want to eat meat, what are the best ways to prepare those so they actually go well with human physiology and how we're designed to actually be processed so we get the most minerals and nutrients from those to create cellular energy for good health and well-being. So I love that he digs into all of that here. There's also some great pictures in here and recipes and things like that. 2, nourishing traditions. This is like my go-to cookbook. So it's technically, I guess it's a cookbook. I got it thinking it was a cookbook, and it is. It's literally got foundational recipes for almost everything you could ever need in here, and it is a great resource that I believe every kitchen should have. But it's also like a history book too. I love that Sally Fallon goes into all of these deep dives of different ancestral practices, of what different cultures do for cooking their food, preparation techniques, sourcing food, all of the above. It is a wealth of knowledge right here in this book. Okay, so by the end of this, my real true goal here is to really create empowerment through education. So when I started on this holistic health journey, there were a lot of do's and don'ts in my vocabulary. And I think that was okay for a time being. It obviously led me to where I'm at now. But looking back, I wish I had more of an abundance mindset rather than a restrictive mindset, because that I have found over these years has really contributed greatly to overall health and well-being as well. When we think of something that's restrictive, I mean, just the word in itself sounds very limiting. It sounds kind of negative in context, and it just can't be good for overall health and mental wellness. When I think of a word like abundance, of like, okay, how can I actually make this banana pudding a possibility for me in my health journey, in my future? Oh, I can actually source my ingredients locally. I can look at where my ingredients are from and use whole food-based ingredients. When I look at that package of the banana pudding that's in the store, you know what it's filled with? It's filled with a ton of toxic ingredients like dyes, additives, gums. Gums are known to upset stomachs. Dyes can be carcinogenic. All of these crazy things, these are not whole food-based ingredients. These are synthetic things made in the lab through ultra processed processes. Like, that is not health, in my opinion. In my opinion, health is being connected to where our food is from, being connected to that process of sourcing it and then eventually bringing it to the table and consuming it. That is a picture of true nourishment, of true vitality, of true satisfaction in what we're consuming. I hope this makes sense, y'all. If you have any thoughts, please leave them below. But if you need a sign to have more banana pudding in your life, this is your sign right here. Have a great day.